Welcome to the Cole and Dre podcast. I'm Cole, and Dre is not here, as you can see. So I'm going to be doing this one by myself tonight. Second time, he done one by himself, and I'm doing one by myself, but we always do it better when we together. We got a special guest with us tonight, though. Well, I have a special guest, because Dre ass ain't here. We got...
Herman Marigny III from New Orleans.
Okay, he gonna introduce. See, I know. I was gonna introduce you, man.
Yeah, my last name. Some people mess it up. Like they say
Herman
Marigny.
Marigny.
That's right.
Marigny. Like Mary Knee.
Excellent.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
Well, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man.
So I was speaking to Herman through a mutual friend, and we had a very interesting conversation, and I was like, man, I need to get you on the podcast. And I think there's a lot of people that claim to do credit, business credit, and different things, and I'm real big on, have you done it? And when I spoke with my guy, he was like, no, this is somebody that actually does it. I've actually done it. And so I don't come on to the podcast, and toot my own horn. It's always good when other people can come on and share some of their knowledge on it. So he has, one of the things that's extremely interesting, he has a license. He's licensed in a software, AI software that can help you clean your credit. It's a DIY software, which if you don't know what DIY is do it yourself. So that was extremely interesting. Actually, he kind of reminds me of me. He do a lot of shit. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna let you tell your story better than I can, man. Okay. So let's start off with this AI software that you have.
All right, let me back it up one bit before I get to the AI, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll tell people this here, that it doesn't matter from your background, socioeconomic background, anything. This AI is revolutionary. So let me give you an idea right now, right? So fortunately, me and my wife was able to amass a number of businesses, primarily because of personal credit. Because if you know anything about business credit, they're going to pull your personal credit unless you're making millions of dollars a year, and then it could be corporate only. But right now, we were able to get 4 CDL schools, a trucking company, a staffing company, a truck brokerage company, all because of personal credit and business credit. Now, on the personal tip, this is the thing that most people don't realize, that although we amass a lot of money, millions of dollars on the business side, every bank, every facility pulled out personal credit, either softly or hardly. So this AI allows anybody to be able to clean up bankruptcies, charge off, judgments, all of those things. We've already licensed the software, and now we're moving to market it nationwide. There's only maybe about 20 companies in the U.S. of 350 million people. Only 20 companies have this, but we're planning on marketing quick, hard, and fast to be the #1 AI provider. Now, let me tell you why. Because right now I have a bunch of VAs out of the Philippines and India. They were helping me to help people service their credit. So we've been knocking off a lot of stuff.
Explain to them what that is, because I know, but go ahead.
That's no problem. Virtual assistants are cheap labor out of the Philippines, India, and Pakistan, but they're highly educated and customer service friendly. So we've been working together for years now on providing a customer service, but for credit, for business, and for funding. So we've been encompassing all of those things. And I'm going to tell you something. Once I got into this AI, I really don't need my VAs for that. My VAs are working for marketing, because the way the AI works is computer generated. Everything is done. It can turn around and help dispute anything on your credit profile for $50 or less. Anything. Bankruptcies, charge off, you name it, right? And I've used it for myself, and I'm on Clubhouse. I got 25,000 followers on Clubhouse. They've used it, and they come to the stage and say, this thing has removed late payments. One guy, he's been trying to remove late payments for 7 years, right? Well, late payments, because a late payment means you have a great history. You was late one time, and it damages you. Right?
Yeah, and if you don't know it, what happens with a lot of people, where the algorithms are set up, you can have perfect scores. I've seen people with 740, 750s, but have a late payment, and within that past 24 months, and a lot of these algorithms are designed to turn you down just based on that one late payment. So that late payment can really hurt on a lot of times.
7 people come to the stage, got late payments removed. Their scores jumped up 40, 50 points because that one late payment was holding them back. Not just one individual. This individual has been trying to sell for the longest. This AI, in a number of weeks, went in and removed late payments. I'm in the credit business. Late payments is one of the hardest things for us to remove.
I'm in the credit business. I got 2 lates that I have had a hard time. I haven't got off, and I'm good.
Exactly.
So I know I'm good.
Try the AI, then come back and let your audience know if the AI is as advertised. I tell people this, right?
I'm going to try.
on Clubhouse, I offer people double their money back. So it's only $50. So I'm gonna give you $50, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna give you another $50 for wasting your time. So I have a double your money back offer, and it's a public platform.
Okay.
You understand? So this is how it goes. I'm so confident because I've seen the dispute letters. There's nothing that we could touch, right? They're disputing on not just using US 1681C. They're not just doing FTC or even deletion. They're using letters that has already been passed by that bureau. So it scans your whole credit profile, and it sees what's wrong with it, and then they look to see what type of late payments that bureau already approved, what it has to say, what it has to be structured for it to pass individual bureaus. Now, I'm really good, but I can't do that.
Right.
You understand? So this is doing it left and right. I'm afraid that at some time the government is going to come out with another AI to say that you use AI to clean your credit. Right. But right now it is wide open. Over 100,000 people have used it. I'm looking to bring it into the millions.
Okay. How long is this particular program that you're using been out right now?
It's been out 2 years.
Okay.
It's been out 2 years. I just got a hold of it the last 30 days.
Okay.
The last 30 days, and already people have results.
Okay. Well, good. So let's talk about AI for a minute. I mean, because we were talking off air, and I was just telling you that there's a company in China, and can't think of it. They basically have utilized AI to write songs, and they have 100 songs that are charting on AI. There's another thing with this AI can do, because you can't copyright a voice, right? So I saw this on YouTube, and there was a guy that took Kendrick Lamar's voice, wrote lyrics to it, and you can't tell if it's Kendrick Lamar or not.
Correct. That program is called Synthesia. Synthesia.io allows you to be able to write scripts, write movies, anything using the voices. Like you said before, it is not copyrighted for the voice, and you can do it for anything. You can make it go fast, slow, tone, high pitch, low pitch, any type of thing at all. This artificial intelligence is taking over. China has already had automatic 18-wheelers 3 years ago. It's on the port right now, but now they're about to be nationwide. Artificial intelligence, my virtual assistants are able to go in, create a script, right? Edit the script, put the descriptions in, everything, the graphics, and distribute it to 5 different platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything in less than 30 seconds.
It's very rare. Let me say this. Come on, make sure you get me on, Travis. It's very rare I meet people that can teach me something. I think I finally met somebody that can teach me something. Which it's a really difficult thing when you find yourself a lot of times being the smartest person in the room. It's a bad room to be in.
Correct. You want to be the average.
Yes, you know what I mean. I hate that, because it's like everybody comes to me for a lot of different things.
And I heard that. Like, I haven't met you personally, but I heard the same thing. 5 of my friends said that brother is as sharp as they come. I mean, 5 different. No, I don't even know if you know him. But 5 different of my friends said the same thing. Everybody can't be lying.
Right, and and it's crazy because I don't mind sharing, but sometimes you want to be poured back into.
Correct.
You want somebody to pour into you as well.
Correct.
Because I'm free with information. Hey man,
teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork make the dream work. I've never looked and said, okay, Herman know this, but so I can't tell Herman. So it's like, hold on one second. There's a guy who I'm really not as cool with right now, because he said something to me that just rubbed me the wrong way. And what he said was, if I tell you what I know, you'll know more than me. And when he said that to me, I just looked at him different, because I don't mind sharing all my information. Because what you know, homie, ain't going to stop me from eating. And if you do know more, and also, if Herman got $20 million and I got 2, I am secure with who I am as a person. Right. But a lot of these dudes, their security comes from how much money they got. Or
it's competition over collaboration.
Exactly, and I hate that, man.
It's
you
not
will
necessary.
always win with collaboration.
Man, you network. The President of the United States have a board. He has a council that he depends on everywhere. He's not the smartest person in the world. If you know, some of our presidents wasn't very bright at all. But they have a board, they have a council, they have other people that's over those things. So you collaborate, then you use the council to go with. Even Absolutely. Jesus, I'm not very religious, but I know Jesus also had people, disciples and stuff like that. Absolutely. So that's the way it works. So I wholeheartedly agree with you. That person is negatively thinking, and they're not going to rise for it.
And that's why you broke
right fast by yourself, but it takes a team to move forward.
Well, J. Paul Getty said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. And a lot of people don't grasp that theory of thinking. If you, what I can do is limited. What I can get others to do for me, there's no limit to it.
So
and
my thing was this here with AI. Let me tell you,
go ahead.
I could have just kept it under wrap because only 19 other people have it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of continually charging $2,500 to do credit.
Mm-hmm.
But now, just what you said, very very intelligently, I rather get a piece of millions than trying to make millions all by myself or being greedy.
Absolutely.
So that's exactly your mindset. I wholeheartedly agree with it.
And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, you're
Mm-hmm.
able to help other people. So if they choose to do something, that's great. You win, other
Mm-hmm.
people win. And I don't remember who told me this. Matter of fact, I do. It was Matt Mac. He told me,
Mm-hmm.
he used to call me Rap all the time because I always was rapping. He said, Rap, you want to make a lot of money? I said, yeah, I always want to make a lot of money. He said, help other people make money. The more money you help other people make, the more money you'll make. I said, damn.
This AI is going to allow us to do that. This AI is able to remove a bankruptcy for less than $50. The reason why the economy is the way it is, our people have lack of resources. The lack of resources come from the fact that we don't have access to credit or capital like other people. So this AI is going to allow us to clean up our credit and then leverage it into the business world. I received $1.2 million in equipment finance, and I bought some trucks during COVID, 1 month. Guess what they did? They pulled my personal credit and they pulled my business credit. Now, it's not just me. I'll never forget this. As long as I live, a young guy I've been knowing for over 40 years. Him and his wife was on Section 8 and welfare, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was receiving an award. He seen me on TV. I was receiving an award from the governor of Louisiana, right?
Okay.
I've also received an award from the Small Business Administration for one of the fastest growing businesses.
Okay.
So he seen me on TV and he invited me over to their house, right, for Thanksgiving. So I went over there. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking he's going to ask for a handout, right? He has in the past, but he had paid it back. But he didn't. He said, listen, I want to do like you do. I'm not trying to borrow any money. How do I move forward? And he said, I'm ready. But I've heard it before. 2 years before, him and his wife opened up a corporation, but they didn't go any further because they didn't see the money right away.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a good thing. That saved him. So when I met with him, we cleaned up his personal credit.
Okay.
We took off all derogatory stuff for him and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
right? Remember, Section 8 and welfare. Then we added trade lines. We found a bank that take authorized trade lines.
Okay.
So we added authorized trade lines to his profile and his wife's profile. We took the 2-year-old corporation, reactivated it, right?
Okay.
Took it to the bank. It was something called a no doc or a low doc loan.
Mm-hmm.
Got the wife 80, got him about 60 something,
Mm-hmm.
and that family is no longer on Section 8 and welfare. They have a 5-bedroom house. He bought a hot shot. He bought an 18-wheeler. She bought a Janet King, and she bought a place to sell her food off because she can cook her tail off, right? And that changed the whole family life, changing the personal credit profile, leverage it into the business world. So I've been on that mission forever because in our neighborhoods, right? I just went back to the neighborhood to teach at my church,
Mm-hmm.
and in that neighborhood, the people from India, Pakistan, they got all the stores all around the neighborhood, right? So if other people can get this AI to clean up their credit, leverage it into the business world, it is gone forever. And I got one more surprise for you at the end of the show that I think you and your viewers are going to love, right? Because business credit is where it needs. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
I know this, right? And it's been a hurdle for a lot of people. But the thing about business credit, just like we add trade lines to personal credit,
Mm-hmm.
there's a program where we're adding trade lines, and you pay for it after it posts.
And that's beautiful.
And you pay after it posts because so many people are worried because you said earlier, credit thing is some people give the credit industry a black eye. That's not about helping people.
Mm-hmm.
We decided that, listen, at least a $50,000 line, you could pay after it posts. You know what I mean? We also have 250, 500, and a million. I'm putting 500 on a new company that I just created to show people how this is done.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it posts in a few days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, business credit, business trades post much quicker than personal.
Correct.
Well, I mean, obviously on the personal side, if you got, well, we ain't gonna even get there. AU's got a date, so if you kind of understand how authorized users work, then obviously they have what's called a post date. And so one of the things on that, you said you found a bank that take authorized users.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the credit industry since the 90s.
Okay.
And so you used to get away with authorized users, bam, 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 all the way up probably until about 2006, 2007. Mm-hmm. The banks finally started saying, okay, scores aren't just as important. We need to look at your history, your body of work on your credit. And this is the other thing. So many people on Instagram and all of these other social media sites tell everybody, you can just automatically get business credit. That is, I'm not going to say it's not true because there are programs that happen every now and then that bam, you can get it, But mostly when they come about, people burn them up so quick until they done. But your personal credit is still going to be the most important part of your growth. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people, what you're talking about is on Instagram and YouTube. These gurus on there, they're selling people that they can get them business credit even with bad credit, right? And what they're primarily talking about is they can get you lines at Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff like that. That's not cash.
Staples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when it's time to get the cash, though, they're going to look at your personal credit. I have a program right now. I can see everything about you. I know they have it, the same program. With just your name and your address, I can see your credit history. I can see everything. So they will pull your personal credit, either soft pull or hard pull, but they're going to look at it because personal credit is the foundation of our capitalistic system. Think about this. Without personal credit, you can't buy a house. You can't get a nice apartment. You can't get a nice car. You can't do anything. And that's primarily because these banks, these institutions, they syndicate these loans. They take the car loans, the home loans, they bundle them, and they sell them to the people on Wall Street, to the hedge funds, to the pension funds, to the insurance company for revenue. So they want to make the loan. Back in the day, they kept it on their books. No longer. They syndicate and sell them right away. All that these pension funds require is for you to have a certain credit score, and sometimes they want some history behind it. So you're absolutely right. It is mandated that mandatory that you build out your personal credit. From there, you can go. You don't even need business credit, really. Right. It just won't show up. If you do business, it won't show up on your personal and crash your personal. So you're absolutely right.
Here's another thing that I see a lot of the gurus tell people, everything about how to keep your tax debt down, how to, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you have these guys, because, I've done mortgage loans, right? And a lot of people don't have the income if they have to pull a 4506. So 4506 T form is basically saying you sign a form letting the lender go to the IRS on your behalf. And so when it doesn't jive with what's on paper, then you're not there. One of the things that you may agree or disagree, but
okay.
I tell people, man, it's okay to pay your taxes. It's okay because you want to be an accredited investor. And a lot of people don't understand. I mean, this is not for the average person, but a lot of people don't understand the power of, showing that $250,000. Because the reason the SEC was created is mainly because it had to stop ordinary people from getting taken advantage of. And so what happened is they said, when Charles Ponzi started the Ponzi scheme and everybody was on this get rich quick on Wall Street in the late 20s, prior to the 1929 crash, and it happened in 1933, just a little bit of history on it. But what happened is they said, okay, we have to protect the average Joe from getting taken advantage of. So we're going to say this is the criteria to become an accredited investor. So two things on that. One is great, one is not. Because if you're not accredited investors, you don't get an opportunity unless you know somebody like myself or Herman to participate in different investments that the rich get an opportunity to participate in because you're not accredited. So they can't solicit you for these type of investments, one, right? Now, the other part of that is most working people can't stand to lose their paycheck. So that's the part that helps them and gets them protected. So I think it's a situation, even like what you're saying, I love the fact that it's only $50.
Correct.
So what is it, $50 a month?
Yes, a subscription.
So that's something that's doable, and you offer a money back guarantee because
double your money back.
At the end of the day, the best investment you'll ever make, in my opinion, is always in you.
Amen.
And so I think a lot of people, even myself, I'm kind of lazy at times. I'm looking for, okay, what can I do that I don't have to do?
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, what can I do where this little money can work? But it's a shame, man, that you have an AI tool like this for $50 a month, and then you'll have people say, well, they need to see, it work 6 months, and they need to see. Invest in you. The best gamble you will take is on you. If you are not willing to invest in you, why do you think somebody else is?
Exactly. So the story I told was just for that. Somebody on Section 8 and welfare, right, back against the wall, they turned around and invested in themselves and never looked back. I'm going to tell you something. They had a 2-bedroom house with 3 children. The husband and the wife was in 1 bedroom, and they have a daughter who was in a queen side bed, and the sons were in bunk beds. Now each one of those kids have their own room, and his family got a guest room. All they done was fix their personal credit. So now, back then, it was thousands of dollars to get that done, right? So now it's $50. So now there's no more excuses. There's no more anything. You can take charge of this. And this is the beautiful thing about AI. AI does all for you. You put it in the mail. AI is your personal assistant. You don't have to look up no dispute letters. You don't have to do this. It will send over the greatest suggestion things. You accept them suggestions because it already did everything for you. It is your assistant. And you print and put the letters in the mail. That's it. That's it. You don't have to go research nothing. You ain't got to find out nothing. The AI is the most powerful intelligence that I've seen. I bowed out. I was doing, like I said, $2,500 to fix somebody's file. I'm joining. You know, I can't beat them. I'm joining them. I'm joining them. Yep. So that's that part there. But I wholeheartedly agree with you that it will take for you to change your mind and then decide to invest in yourself. Think about it in my way. I invested in 7 college degrees. Why couldn't I not invest in personal credit? And I'm gonna tell you, those degrees didn't give me the money. Every one of my bankers, right? I bank at every bank you could think of. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citi, every bank I bank at, everybody pulled my personal credit. Everybody pulled my personal credit. When they gave me over $1 million worth of dump trucks during COVID in 1 month, during August, that's when I knew. That's when it hit me. All they needed to make sales. These banks have to loan money to stay in business. They have to loan, man. They don't want to. They gave me that. No money down or nothing because they had to make the loans.
If there's no debt, the economy crashes.
Amen.
You got to have some debt.
They live from the Federal Reserve. They're able to fractionalize and create money. But in order for them, if I have $1 million in there, 3%, they have to pay me $30,000 a year for this money. So now they have to turn around and make money off of this. So they have to make loans. So they have to make loans to you and me at above 3%. 8, 9, 10, 12, the greatest that they can get away with in order to pay their overhead.
Right.
They have to make loans. And now, not like in the past, they used to keep it on their books. Now they bundle them and sell them. So they don't really care as much as back then. So we can no longer say, oh, it's racist or it's stuff. They have to make loans. They called me the other day asking me to put savings in that 3% because they want to leverage that to make more loans. You got me? So this is the best time. Interest have been so low for so long, they wasn't making anything.
Right.
Now the spread is there. They wanting to give loans. One lady just called me on my way over here. She got a CDFI loan, which is a community-based loan backed by the S.B.A. of $178,000. Her credit is so-so.
They out of D.C.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah, they've been around a while.
Yep. And there's a number of CDFIs around, different ones, but that's exactly
the
what
main one
use.
I think is out of D.C.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah. I can't even think of the young lady name up there. She's an older lady, but yeah. Shout out to you.
So that's the bottom line. If you're trying to move up, if you're trying to do, you're tired of sticking where you are. Because even in Houston, man, listen, I came to Houston and y'all have a avenue that is damn near all Asian. I mean, the signs is in Asian. They have the banks. I've never seen anything. And Fifth Ward is older than this area that they're in. But because these people have access to capital, and maybe the people in Fifth Ward don't, you see the diversity right there in front of you, right? That if you don't have that access to capital, you're going to be a worker / slave. That's the bottom line, because you'll be living paycheck to paycheck. I know that's where I was headed until I discovered that you can leverage your personal credit into the business world. I never looked back. Never looked back. So again, I'm telling you all that this AI is out already. You want to be the first to be able to obtain it and to help it everybody. I'm going to end it right here because I don't want AI you to death. There's a guy, his name is ML Billion. Some people love him, they hate him. But I met him a couple of times at some seminars I spoke at, and something that changed his life is that when he did get some money, right, he fixed everybody's credit in his family. He fixed everybody. He fixed his mama credit, his brother credit, and then this was the thing. They could not touch their credit. They could not touch. He was going to give them jobs from what he built, and they was happy with that. He fixed it, leveraged everybody's credit, and bought in millions of dollars and never looked back. Jets, islands, everything. But it all started with him fixing his own credit, his mom credit, his uncles, his brothers and sisters, putting it into a corporation and leveraging that credit. Their first businesses was restaurants, body shops, and everything else. But that changed everything. So this is how great this is. This is a movement. I'm so happy you had me on here to be able to broadcast it.
So and what you said right there, this is a concern, like especially with black people, with our people. I think one of the problems becomes, I'm familiar with his story and other people's story like that. But one of the things, as I said earlier, in business, it don't always go great. So this is the power of this AI. So if something happens when you collaborate with everybody, and you took a couple of dings on your credit, you can take a system like this and fix that and go back at it. You're not gonna always win, but I can tell you, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You gotta go out there and invest in you. Go take a gamble on you. Take a gamble on your family, your brother, your sister, your kids. Put them all together. You have all of the money you need if you just fix the people credit that's right there with you and leverage those things. I've done it right here. And people ask me, well, how did you do it so fast? And I can tell them the blueprint easily, but are you willing to follow it?
Amen.
Because sometimes it's going to take some sacrifices of denying self, and a lot of people don't want to do that. Because I see dudes, Navy Federal giving away money, they giving away money, and as soon as they get the money, they go and buy a damn necklace. Come on, man. You want to buy a watch. That is not an income producing.
It hasn't changed.
Nothing about that. It looks good.
30 years ago, I was in California when we were doing this. And no shade to the people in California, but they just went out and bought Rolls Royces, Land Rovers, nothing to make money. Everything was about flash, looking Hollywood. That's what it was. In New York and Chicago, it's not much better, but I was living out there, and I seen every time that they got money, they wanted to look like money. And that was the thing. Nobody invested in income-producing assets. So that's one thing I like about what you're doing, by helping the people to get the mortgages. Those are income-producing assets. That's what you want, or at least it'll build equity so you can own something, as opposed to just being a renter.
Right. So this AI thing, man, it's really scary to me right now, because when you take a look at, we were talking about, I think you said, I don't know if you said off air, did you say here, that China has, 18-wheelers that, we have them here. They've been working on 18-wheelers, self-driving 18-wheelers in Arizona and parts of California, all through the desert. And so they actually have the technology to do it now. With the way AI is going, I'd like to know, in your opinion, because AI can pretty much do everything. And so what does this do for the average working person?
Can I be honest?
Please.
So I got on the train for this here. There's a guy with one of the highest IQs in the world, right? One of the highest IQ. He looked into this. He said this is going to be the most disruptive technology. More people are going to lose their jobs. Let me tell you this. One AI prompt, Chat GPT is the main one. There's more AIs, but that's the one that people talk about. So I bought a prompt for $3.99 on marketing, how to be able to do digital marketing, right? That prompt created 15 marketing plans. I implemented those marketing plans. So I no longer need these marketers. You understand? It created 15 different marketing plans based on interest, based on fear, whatever I told it to do. One $3.99 prompt. So I no longer have to spend $3,000 a month on a marketing team. And that's not it, just it. Graphics designers, and they're really, really talking about even coders. AI is able to code perfectly. So this is going to be the most disruptive technology we've ever seen. There was, when we went from horse and buggy to machine. So a lot of, there was, I want to say hundreds of thousands of horses at that time in the world. There's maybe 10, 15,000 horses in Europe right now. But back then, horsepower was everything, then machines came. Then we turned around from this and we made the machines even more powerful. But you think about this, before the iPhone, iPod, and everything else, it was nothing. With this technology here, it's able to help you on anything that you normally do. It just can't drop it in the mail for you. But everything else is wonderful. When you see these dispute letters, when you look at it, you're going to call me and say, man, I've never seen anything like this. Because it has access to everything, every policy written, every FTC, everything. And it uses that to help that person to get that off their credit.
That's amazing.
It is, absolutely.
It's not only is it amazing, it's scary. Because, excuse me. This is so disruptive until right now, what a lot of people don't realize in the United States, because Japan and China are leading the world in AI, and we have the same technology. We've just chosen to suppress it because it's job killers. So I think, as I said earlier, I think what's going to have to happen is the governments are going to have to give subsidies to people to live.
They did with the PPP, so they did, and they will have to do it again. It's just how fast this thing is taking off. I wasn't expecting it that this fast. I'm gonna tell you, I was charging $2,500, and now it's $50 because the AI can do all of that. I think next year is gonna be $1.
Yeah,
It's gonna come as a bonus to do your credit. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. So I think here's another thing on that. God, how did I just lose my thought? That is so crazy. I do that. Do I do that all the time, Travis? I do, huh?
Yeah, you about this how disruptive it is, and people are gonna lose their jobs. You need to be on track with that.
That's what I was gonna say. So there was an article I was reading. I was at the airport and I was just bought a magazine. I don't even remember which one it was, and I'm reading this article, and it said up until 2003, it took 20 years for things to change in the world. If you implemented a plan, it took almost 20 years. Said from 2003 to now, that time frame has come 18 months. Everything can change. 18 months. And I tell people a lot of times, because we have this debate all the time about, are these kids so terrible? These kids are terrible. These kids are this. And I say all you got to do is go back and look at the numbers. If you go back and look at the 80s and 90s, look at the murder rate, the crime rate, man, our era was terrible. These kids, we was worse. The difference is everybody has this at their disposal. And so because of that, what's happening is you're getting bombarded with all of these negative things on a daily basis, on every moment. Something happened. This guy got killed. This girl got raped. This was an airplane crash, a train crash. So you're seeing all these things that are creating so much fear, where you had the only time you had it back in the 80s and 90s was on the nightly news or the 6 o'clock news. Now you're getting everything instantaneous, and it looks like it's so terrible. And don't get me wrong, it ain't great, but that's what's happened because of the power of technology.
Right, because FBI had that data at one time. They can see all of this, and they kept it in house. They wasn't worried about it. But now, like you said, with technology, it's at everybody's fingertips. I have a app for New Orleans, and we have the highest murder rate, murder per capita, right? And that app just never stops going off. I had to dismantle the app because it just kept sending me negative stuff to my phone, like what's going on. I would think I want to move out of New Orleans because you just keep seeing all the stuff that's going on.
Right.
So you're absolutely right that information is at our fingertips. Now they can Google anything, they can YouTube anything.
And this is another thing we have a discussion about all the time. You know, these young kids don't respect OGs, this, that, and the other. Well, the reality of it is we needed our elders for information. They had experience. They could share. They had the connections. They had the relationships. Now, all the relationships right here.
My son, before he passed away, I was introducing him to somebody, the same guy who introduced me to this AI, right? And in a matter of seconds, he had went to his Facebook, his Instagram, and he seen his family, everything. He said, "No, I know where the guy live at. I know he's been on IG for 4 or 5 years, and he got good ratings and everything else." He did that in less than like a minute. But back then, I had to introduce you. Y'all had to get to know each other. He went straight to IG and Facebook and see everything he needed to see.
I just got on Instagram, man. That's so crazy. I've been on Instagram now for about 3 months, Travis. Yeah, so I've been on for about 3 months. And it's crazy, man, because I was fighting it. I
was with you.
And
know what made me change?
What?
I'm in Clubhouse. Clubhouse is an app. I mean, it's all about like business or music or anything you want, right? And in order to get in there, you had to have an IG. I had to get one of my VAs to create an IG for me because I'm like you. I wasn't just into the social media like that. And now I'm so happy that I have because I see everything and everybody see me. I put one post and thousands of people see what I'm doing. So I'm so happy. But before I didn't care about Facebook or Instagram because I'm getting my money the way I am with my government contracts and everything else. So I wasn't really worried about the exposure. Now, and with AI can now do all of the stuff we just talked about. They can create your videos, they can edit your videos, and they can post them on all the click of a button. It does all of that. The most terrifying thing, I don't need a marketing, I don't need an editing group, I don't need a voiceover, I don't need anything. Just that thing. I'm going to show you, and if you get a chance, I'll show you some videos that was created by AI, only by AI.
We got one for the CDL school, and she did it in Anitra did that video in a matter of probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Before you pay a marketing exec.
They did the script, they did everything, gave us the virtual assistant to speak the video. I'm like, God damn.
The avatar.
You know, I was going on Fiverr playing for business plans and this, that, and the other. Man, that's cutting them out now.
It is.
And the ones that's on Fiverr right now, hell, they using AI to do it.
They've been.
And I know this because I tried something. I said, let me create something with GPT and let me see what this guy does for $150 or whatever, right? Let me just see. It was so similar, and I could tell
that
when I ran it back. I'm like, oh shit.
He just had an exact prompt. So the thing about AI is the prompts. Everything is in a prompt. If you go to a place called Prompt Base, you can buy prompts for anything that you need. So a lot of times
Prompt Base,
right? You go to Prompt Base, and then you can buy a prompt. I bought a $3.99 prompt, created 15 excellent marketing plans, scripts, camera angles, all of that.
I got something for you. I'm gonna share with you.
Yes,
we
sir.
get off here because I got to rewrite a business plan right now. So,
okay.
And like I got one of the problems I think I probably have is I've gotten lazy. I have because I got a staff, people that I can just say do this. But and I normally used to be like, let me learn everything myself first. But now it's kind of like, okay, just do it. Shit. But I've got to write a new business plan because I'm gonna share with you some additional funding that you can get.
Okay.
That's
Beautiful.
really out there.
Beautiful.
That you can tap into. But yeah, man, I think I'm nervous about how disruptive AI is right now.
So I'm gonna tell you, you have a right to be, but this is our opportunity to level the playing field. This is our greatest opportunity to level, because as you know already, the only difference is lack of resources. The FICO, Fair Isaac and Company, is based on resources. It's not based on ethnicity, right? If you have the resources to pay your bills on time, you have assets and everything else, your FICO score will reflect that. If you miss bills, you live in paycheck to paycheck, your FICO score will reflect that, right? So right now, you can use AI to level the playing field before they change anything. I feel like Harriet Tubman. I really do, right? She escaped and she came back and helped other people, right?
Okay.
My wife, with the help of AI, has an 850 FICO across the board.
Okay.
An 850 FICO. Sometimes we leverage it for people that want to do real estate and stuff like that. But this is now possible for everybody. I wrote a script with AI to show people how to raise their credit score up to 850. AI wrote it. They edited it. They also have the Synthesia voice actor and everything else, all through AI. So when they come to get the AI, I want you to win. I give you a guide, right? And I give you the video to show you how to build up your credit score. You understand? All that for $49. I give you all of that because I want you to win. Because I need you to help you get the finances. I need you to have an optimized credit score. Not just a credit score. It needs to be optimized for funding.
What time you leaving tomorrow?
I ain't got nowhere to go. I run the place.
Well, come on in tomorrow. We're gonna support you.
All right.
We're gonna put a few people in. I want to try the system in real time. I like to, so you can come on in.
And I'll be honest, all I have to do is give it to it, and you send it to them. It's that easy.
Okay.
60-year-old men came on stage, right? Had never messed with technology. It was that easy. AI created all of the letters for them. All they had to do was drop in the mail. 60-year-old men, not technologically savvy at all. Several of them. So I know it's easy, but I got a support staff for people that's just fearful.
Right.
And they need to talk to somebody. So we have a customer support because I moved them from doing credit to customer support for the AI. But yeah, I'm coming back. Thank you for offering. Yeah, man, we're gonna collaborate. Yeah, let's collaborate. I like your vibe. I love your vibe. I got
something
man.
I can share with you.
Okay.
So don't let me forget that.
All right.
Because it's something I'm working on right now that I think you'll be able to access.
Any way we can collaborate and elevate. That's what I'm about.
Okay.
And not just talk to. I'm a collaboration elevate.
Well, we the guy who we met through Solid as they come.
Oh yes.
So shout out to my man Pitbull, man. My man Pit. Man, let me call you Craig. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna even say your own name, Craig. So say your governmental name. But anything else in particular you want to speak on outside AI? I brought you on because of this system,
other part of it. Let me tell you this. So AI is important for the first step. So the second step is you have to build out your business, right? Okay. There is a personal, like you mentioned, Navy Federal. So Navy Federal might give you $25,000 if everything lines up, right? But on the business side, right, I've helped people get hundreds of thousands of dollars because they can give more money on the business side. Primarily because as a private person, you have the FTC, you have the CFBP, you have everybody on your shoulder. So the underwriters are not going to give you a lot of money because you can always cry that you didn't understand the interest rates, APR, all of that stuff. But on the business side, you don't have those rights. So they feel more comfortable because they can put liens on, they can attack and go get their money back. So I always tell people that personal credit is outstanding, but then leverage that into the business world. Once you leverage that into the business world, they will give you anything that your business profile will take. Now, a lot of times, the best profiles we've gotten the most money for, if they have at least 10 net 30 accounts, and now we're able to add large lines of credit because they do something called comparable credit, which you have on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I do come back, you're going to see the 500,000, 15 trade lines, Sam's, Walmart, everybody, high trade lines. And let me tell you this. I want to share with you. We're creating some of those even without credit. They're able to get that even without credit. You got me? It's your
Okay.
personal credit. So it's changing, but AI is helping to feel it. We need to, as a group, to leverage this and get ahead of it. Don't be trying to catch up. This is our opportunity to. This is our real opportunity to let AI build up our personal profile, our business profile, and then go after this funding. But collectively, we have to pull together to be able to grow. That is the key. This is how the Asians do it. This is how the people from Pakistan do it. This is how they do it. Let me tell you how I know. When the real estate collapsed in 2008 and 2009, in the Wall Street Journal, you seen nothing but articles of these hotels had to be given back. Then I found out that there was banks in India bankrolling the hotel. So these people come here, but they had access to capital. They had a bank in India that bankrolled them for convenience stores, for hotels, everything. Without that access to capital, I'm telling you, you're going to be a worker. And this is the last thing, because I don't want to be redundant. Okay. A lot of people know about Monopoly. A lot of people, we grew up with the board game of Monopoly. You don't Google it, whatever y'all do with it, right? But you're going to see that the game does not start until the banker gives everybody money. Everybody, whatever the amount, whatever you come from, the game, you cannot buy houses, cars, businesses until the banker gives everybody money. So when you have that access to capital, now you can play the game of capitalism. Without that there, it's a rough, you're going to be a working slave, honestly. It's nothing like it. Yeah. So, man, I love it. I thank you for this platform, man, and thank you for allowing me to be able to share this cutting-edge technology with your family.
And thank you for coming on, man. I hate Dre. Dre, see, you supposed to have been here. Dre, man, my guy Dre, my co-host, man. He's doing some great work in the community. He's a mentor, and this is some of the things that I think he needs to bring you in. You guys can collaborate on. Bring you out and share with some of these kids, because you're right.
I would love that.
If you don't have that access to capital, it's two things. Having the access, one, to capital is extremely important, but most important to me is understanding having a plan for the capital. Because what happens is a lot of people say, okay, and I've seen it happen over the past 4 or 5 years. This bank is giving this bank is giving this, these dudes got all this PPP money. And if you don't know, it's kind of like the crack era in the 80s, man. If you had a lot of young millionaires that had no idea what to do with the money. So if you don't have an investment plan for that capital, it doesn't matter. You're going to find a way to mess it off. And so I think it's extremely important that we devise real strategies, collaborative strategies that actually add value to everybody in the group.
It does. Listen, so what you're saying, I'm on point with. Because when we had a problem with slavery, we had an anti-slavery movement. Right, and then it helped to dissolve slavery. Then we had a problem with our rights, and we had a civil rights movement. And now it's time for economic movement, right? Because nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save us, right? We learned that in Katrina when they were waiting on people and people were dying. Nobody's coming to save you, right? So now we have to collaborate and build a system, an economic system that our people could trust that be able to disseminate this. Right? It's like the tally of the 10 with Du Bois. These 10% of people need to be able to create a system to help everybody. Because this AI is going to shut some stuff down. You thought the COVID did, right? There's going to be a lot of jobs. I've seen in Japan, there's hotels, no people. There are restaurants. I've seen robots walk the people in, take their order. Robots fix the order in the back, and it's delicious food according to the reviews. There are no people. You understand? So this is where we're transitioning to, and it's coming faster than I even anticipated.
Well, think about this. I read an article in 1985. I think GM had 30,000 employees in their factory. Right? Y'all forgive me if I'm wrong. I can't remember verbatim. But they had like 30,000 people in their factory. That same factory can produce the exact same amount with 26 people. 30,000 to 26 people. So that is 30,000 jobs lost.
So you do the same thing with Uber, right? Uber is one of the largest transportation companies, right? They're making more money, making more stuff than any transportation company, and their staff was maybe 1,000 people. They started off at 200, but they've grown so big it's 1,000. Back then, it would have been 50,000 people. Technology is not. I remember those old movies. I don't know. I'm dating myself, but they used to have a lot of secretaries, and one man had in a dinner a bunch of secretaries, and now they have one computer that can do all of their work. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, we're moving to that technology. Get on board with it. I'm telling you, don't be fair, don't be scared. Get with somebody that understands it and get on board. We need to get ahead of this. We need to take advantage of it, or else it's going to cause an economic divide unlike you ever seen. Because now what you're saying is the government is going to give stuff.
They're gonna have to. I can't see it. I can't see another way.
So anytime you're government dependent, you're in trouble. Anytime
Absolutely.
you're government dependent, so the richer are going to use this and get even richer, and this is going to a lot of people are going to lose their job, including lawyers.
Absolutely.
Including lawyers, right? Because it's just paperwork. People that create all of this stuff. The AI created a trust, and they created a trust better than a $50,000 trust that somebody wanted to sell me. The AI created the trust, everything for you. So that person can never no longer sell me a $50,000 trust when ChatGPT with the correct API connected to it can give me a trust for nothing.
I was able to leverage Fiverr in a lot of ways because I put a website. I do business plans, I do marketing plans, I do all of these things. All I did was send it to Fiverr, right?
Correct.
You can't even do that anymore. I mean, unless somebody just don't know better. But really and truly, with
a lot
AI,
of people don't know. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people don't know.
You're correct.
In my city, I'm talking to people about AI, and they're thinking that it's something else, and it's not, right? They just don't know. So that's what's going to happen. The people that do know is going to have to make it to whereas the people that don't know can still leverage it and uplift each other, economic uplift each other. A lot of people don't have no idea about this. None.
And this is the other scary part before we wrap this up, man. The scary part to me on this now is if you've dealt with credit, and I've dealt with credit, you've dealt with credit, I see a lot of lawyers, attorneys, doctors with $4, $5, $6, $7, $800,000 worth of student loans. And as you just said, for a lawyer, the AI can damn near do his job. They can't go in there and argue, but now you still have it. You have the stenographer over there typing. Now they're competing with AI. I can't think of what it's called. It's AI, but it's another system that's AI. But they're competing with that, and so this is scary because I'm asking myself at this point. I'm happy my daughter, she just graduated last year from TSU, and I didn't say it to her, but I tell her now, your teaching degree really ain't worth it. But I mean, just because it was so important for my mother and my father. They wanted a college graduate so bad. They didn't get it out of me. They didn't get it out of my brother.
Right.
But I keep telling y'all I made more money than all the college graduates y'all know. So it's all about the money. But y'all need the accolades. But I still got more money than them.
Yep.
So it's okay. It's nothing wrong with having a degree. But this man said he has 7 degrees, and his degrees is not what did it.
The bankers never asked me about my degrees. Not one banker. They never asked me about my accolades from the Small Business Administration, my accolades from the governor of Louisiana. They just wanted to know my personal credit and business credit because they're going to sell that. They can't sell my accolades. They can't sell that. But my personal credit score attached to a business, that's all they asked for. 12 different banks. All of them pulled my personal credit, and they want to know what my paydex score, what's my experience score, those type of stuff there. And listen, AI can just write my little business plan for me. AI can just write the 1, 2, 3 page business plan, mission statement, all of that, and I can just email it to them. That's it.
Absolutely.
But access to capital is going to be crucial because that transition, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people. And people that have that access to capital are going to be the ones that win. Any transition.
Absolutely. So get you some access to capital over here, man. You ain't got no money. Money make the world go round. It's true.
It does.
It's just what it is.
The rappers had that report right.
They got that part right.
Yeah.
And that's the other part.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't even know if the music industry or the movie industry, I mean, we still have a need for people in social skills, but it's scary because a lot of these kids are horrible at social skills.
Oh, my God.
Because they're so dependent on this. They're so dependent on that. That's your computer that you're carrying around all day. We used to have to argue, man, that ain't right, this ain't right. But we'd argue about who scored the most points. That's not an argument anymore. Hey Google, hey Siri.
There it is.
Hey Siri.
And something you said, I read that right before coming here. I read a lady
There's nothing playing.
Oh, okay, not you. I was just saying. Example.
I read a lady wrote an article in U.S. News, right? And she said that she's like a top recruiter. She 40 hours she recruits people, and what she's looking for, exactly what you're saying, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is what she big over skills, because skills could be taught. She's looking for you to have emotional intelligence. She has a little checklist of what she's looking for in certain situations.
Wow.
But that was it, because it countered what you just said, that these people don't have that because they're interacting or not have the social skills. So that's a code word for the social skills because a lot of kids they don't. For the first time ever, I watched that show, Shark Tank,
Mm-hmm.
and a kid lost, right? And the kid was in the backstage crying on his mama's shoulder. He wasn't no kid; he was 28 years old. Had a beautiful idea, but he lost, and he was having a mental breakdown. So it was just as what the kids did not like. We face adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Our forefathers with slavery and civil rights, they face adversity. These kids, I don't think they have the emotional intelligence to really face adversity.
Well, they're being told everything's positive,
Mm-hmm.
right here. Once again, all you gotta do is pick this thing up, and you can find. And this is an example I gave. You take a kid and say Iowa, rural Iowa. I'm just gonna use that particular state, right? Who may have been gay, may have been homosexual.
Right.
He was forced to be straight because of the structure, and he had to hide and be in the closet, or that girl had to hide and be in the closet. Now it's easy to pick this thing up and find somebody,
find a community
that can share your what's the word I'm looking for? Find a community that agrees with you, that shares your narrative.
Yep.
And so now people are saying, you know what? I'm not weird. I'm not strange. I can hook up with these people. And it's also the same way when you want to find a group of racist people, black or white.
Yeah.
You know what? They think like I do. They think black power. They think white power. They think this.
Like-minded individuals.
So it's so easy to find like-minded individuals based on just a Google search. And that's scary in a sense because it breaks down the fabric of a society. It breaks down the social as well as economic fabric of a society because now you have so many small cliques of people shaping their own narrative. And what I'm seeing in the news a lot is you have more people that they don't want to hear an opposite opinion of what that is they think.
The cancel culture.
Yes,
they want to cancel anything.
I need to hear exactly. I need you to consistently pour into me that I'm right on my ideology. So I'm only going to watch CNN because they agree with me. I'm only going to watch Fox because they agree with me. Or I'm only going to watch this alternative news show or this alternative, whatever it may be, because we all agree. And anybody that doesn't agree with us, we don't want to talk to. And it's bad because we suffer with conflict resolution skills.
Oh my God.
And I think that's a big problem in our community with a lot of our young black men. We don't have good conflict resolution skills. We think, we can pick up a gun and resort to violence versus communication. And this is a problem because I don't even want to go in. We talking about AI, man. It's just.
But it's so bad, and you're reaching for a solution, and the solution is out there. We come together, we could come to a solution. My thing, and right here in Texas, right, they're recruiting me to go to graduate school for AI and machine learning, right, like that. And I can do most of it on the phone, turn in my capstone, and get a postgraduate degree in AI and machine learning. So this is the future that we have to direct our people to be ahead of the curve. I'm going to end it right here because I can go on and on about this. I seen this about 25 years ago. I was taking one of my degree classes off campus. It was at the University of New Orleans off campus, right?
Okay.
And I went into that building and I went into the wrong room. When I went into the wrong room, they had 30-something Caucasian young kids between the age of 14 and 17. They were learning coding 25 years ago. Primarily Caucasian people. They were in that room learning coding at a public off-campus university. They wasn't even supposed to be. They wasn't of age to be college students, but they had a particular curriculum. Chicago, they have a class for their young heirs that's about to end. They have financial literacy class, 40,000 for 40 hours, 40,000. So a lot of people are kept out of it, but they're taught about trust. They're taught about asset protection. They're taught about stocks, bonds, options, all of those things. You understand? Our people are not. They're pushing them toward sports. They're pushing them toward whatever it is. Nothing to live in a capitalistic system. Access to personal credit, business credit. They will fund you. I love what you're saying. Have an idea what to do with the money. If you have those three components there, whether it's real estate, whether it's franchising, whatever income producing thing it is, you win a lottery here in the United States of America. Personal credit, business credit, and funding, but income producing funding.
You have a lottery in the world, and I appreciate you. This has been a great discussion, man. But this is scary for me right now too because my son, he's in the 11th grade, and he tells me every day, "Dad, I really don't need to go to school. We're not learning nothing. from the
And
real
he's
world.
right.
Because
He's right.
I've showed him things on
Mm-hmm.
Fiverr. I've shown
Mm-hmm.
him different AI, and he
Mm-hmm.
finds a way to make a little money here, a little money
Mm-hmm.
here, and it's frustrating to him because he's like, if I wasn't in school, I could do this. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, you go complete this. And he
So
said, why? Hold on. He said, why? I said, because it's very important to you, not just society. It's important to you to know that you can complete something.
yes.
A lot of people start stuff and they just don't complete it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important, and it's self gratification to know you can complete something. That's
Mm-hmm.
important.
And listen, you're absolutely right. But he is as well. Um, Now, I think this AI, like all machine learning, that would interest him more than anything else because it's going to be the people who have access to capital, which is can control any environment at all. If you think about this, Stanford, you heard of Stanford University?
Absolutely.
The story behind Stanford is he named that university. It's called Stanford University Junior. He lost his son. So Stanford made his money during the gold rush. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't make his money digging for gold. He made his money supplying the picks and the shovels and the food to all the people that ran out there during the gold rush. That's how he made his money, correct? And he invested wisely. So it's the same thing. I believe your son should go into the one that's going to supply the AI technology to the people because this is the next gold rush. Understand that?
Okay.
Machine learning. Austin gives a course, a 4-month course to help people to understand about that. I'm not backing them. MIT does it as well, and Harvard. But I like University of Austin because they got no coding. They got a no coding program where you don't have to know code because they already have coded stuff already. You just have to push buttons. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. I was just my suggestion. I don't know your son, but I'm doing the same thing with my family. I'm pushing everybody ahead of the curve.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this has been a great show, man.
It
Thank
has,
you very
man.
much for coming. I
And
really
this has been
appreciate
a
you.
very fruitful
And,
conversation, for real.
I'm really praying that the audience, gets on board and understand exactly some of the things that's being said to you guys, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and take advantage of it. They say knowledge is power. It's not. It's only the application. Knowledge is information. The application of the information is where the power comes. So it doesn't matter that you sitting there listening to this intelligent brother right here. If you don't take advantage of what's being said, and that's for me too.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take advantage of what you learn and the information that's given to you, it doesn't matter. And I've always said to myself, like, everybody, a lot of you guys know Jay is my cousin, and I always, looked and said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. I've never been envy-hearted of him. I've been inspired by his accomplishments. And so many people have been just willing to sit on the sideline and edify this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's cool. But shit, I want some of that too.
Yeah.
And it's something that
Use it
happened.
as an inspiration.
Right. It's using as I never forget, man. I had this girl, right, 96, right? I'm driving Jay S600. It was X600, V12, beautiful coupe. And I'm rolling. I'd been out to his ranch, and she think this all mine. and he calls.
Mm-hmm.
You had the car. The speakerphone was good then. Had the car in the phone, so I hit the little button, put it on the speaker. Yo, what's up, Jay? Hey, Adrian, when you gonna bring me my car back? Damn. I'm like, I said I parked it over there, so I'm gonna bring that to you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was just in it. Gary told me that's the guy at the ranch, one of his ranches. He said you just left. I hung the phone up. I'm like, damn, man, you messing everything. But what it did do for me then, the reason I tell that story, I had to get my own.
Yes.
Like, man, I can't just enjoy another man's stuff. I got to go get my own, man.
Yes.
I want it for me. So it's nothing like when you wake up and you can check that account and it's all there. It's a beautiful thing, man. So, man, thank you so much for coming on, man. Tell the people how they can reach you on Clubhouse, on Instagram.
Listen, can I tell them to get the DIY? Because that's the whole thing.
Yes, tell them that.
It's DIY credit optimize ed.ai. DIY credit credit optimize OTMIZED.ai. That's what you need to do. But you can Google me. My name is Herman Marigny, and it'll come up. DIY credit optimize.ai. Y'all, you have your whole family credit done. We can work with you for that. You can come to his brother here. He can help you to get the financing that you need to move to the next level. It's about access to capital. It's no longer be about a job anymore. It's going to be about who has access to capital to make things happen. All right, so man, thank you, man. I
Thank
love
you,
this
my
show,
brother.
man. This is
Thank you, my brother.
Man,
Y'all
this is
support
one of the
the brother,
best
man.
podcasts I've ever been on, for real.
Thank
Been
you,
on
man.
a couple
Would
of
you
them.
like
This is
them
one of the best
to
ones.
follow you on Instagram or
Yeah,
hit you on
Instagram is
Clubhouse?
Cred
Let 'em know.
Assembly, CREDSEMBOY Inc. Cred Assembly Inc. That's the company that owns DIY Credit Optimized. So if you go to my Instagram, Cred CREDSEMBOY Inc. Right, and you can reach me on Instagram. Or the best way to catch me is my name, Herman HERMAN 10K.com. HERMAN, the number 10, the letter K.com. Herman10K.com is my digital card that most people reach me on. HERMAN 10, the letter K.com. Herman10K.com. You can catch with me there. My BAs answer all messages.
Okay. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Make sure y'all check out. I got my shirt on today. A Vision 3,000 Letters is out on Tubi. I got like 4 or 5 more movies coming. We're going to probably shoot another 15 to 20 by the end of the year. Kind of my hobby hustle, but I'm enjoying it. I like it. Of course, it's still making money, but I enjoy, helping people reach their goals and reach their dreams of being actors, directors, and everything like that. So you guys can reach me at Relentless A. Cole on Instagram. Is that it, Travis? Okay, yeah. And if I answer slow, man, please blame it on my mind, my heart in the right place, man. But I don't tend to get to it. I'm gonna have somebody run my Instagram so I can do a better job. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Cole and Dre podcast. Thank you, Herman, for coming, man. Good luck to this brother, man. Y'all make sure y'all support him any way we can. Extremely intelligent brother. I'm looking forward to working with him in the future.
We're going to collaborate.
Man. So we're going to do some things.
We're going to collaborate.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Cole and Dre show. I'm Cole, and we out. Peace.
Hey man, what time it is, man? Hey, relentless, hey, relentless, hey, hey, Cole, boss straight, 2 mother, watch them out, no count, all facts like what you talking about. Boy, listen and pay attention to what we talking about. We can show you how to make 100,000 in the drop.
You ought to be happy your old man come home.
Look, that nigga ain't no father of mine.
The only thing on my mental is to get in contact with my son and right my wrongs.
That shit ain't stopped my mama from getting killed.
You stole him from me with that fucking kid.
I'm glad he out and all that. I need you to keep him out the way for me.
Out the way. That nigga just got home. We already got you shook. All I'm saying is, this new plug we have, shit, the whole team gonna eat.
Just make sure you do it. Because if you don't,
man, listen to me, Jay. Marco gave Jordan 3 days to pay that money back in full. Or he canceled. No bullshit.
the only way to get revenge for family is through family.